This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. Happy Earth Day. Number one, the GOP sucks. And number two, will floating solar help save the planet? So we have this stuff called floating solar out there. It's be used mostly in reservoirs. Obviously wouldn't be used in streams or rivers or anything like that. It costs a little bit more, about 25% more. But number one, it doesn't take up any land. And Republicans are bitching and bitching about all the land space that solar is taking up, while they're not trying to provide any investment in it at all. So it would be done on reservoirs. Now, the advantage of that is that, number one, many reservoirs are part of hydroelectric. So there already is an existing delivery system for the electricity that this will produce. And it'll save a tremendous amount of water from evaporation. Now, this will still be years before this would happen, but if we could actually get a lot of floating solar out there, they call it photovoltaics, is that it could produce almost 1/2 of our existing current needs. Now, of course, our needs are going to change. They're going to grow as time goes on, but it could produce up to 1/2 of our current needs with just 35% of that reservoir space being taken up by floating solar. And of course, would save a lot of water from evaporation and other things like that. Now, this is great stuff. We need to do this. We need to do this on a large scale that only the federal government can produce all of this. We need much more. Now, another example similar to this is that they're doing a test pilot project in California, where they're going to, there's about 4,000 miles of canals, irrigation canals in California. And they're going to have a pilot program on about a mile of it where they're going to put solar above the canals itself. Now, at one point, I know that some of the canals are over 100 feet wide. So it would be a lot of stuff. But number one, it prevents evaporation. Number two, it will deliver, in addition to what it'll deliver a lot of electricity. Will not have to use diesel by the farmers who have to use the diesel to pump the water into the canals. This maintenance cost itself will decrease by about $40,000 per mile. So it's a big win. So here we have floating solar. Here we have putting solar panels on top of irrigation canals. Things that really have high startup costs, have to be done by the government, and tremendous need for it. Republicans are denying it all the time. The world is changing. You know, there is a 1,000 megawatt floating solar in China. All the countries are doing all of this right now. We are in a catch-up phase. We need to catch up. We need Republicans to be on board, that we need to have investment in this, because this is the wave of the future. There is still a tremendous amount of reluctance on the Republicans to do this. You know, and that's getting to the point where, again, when you're a Republican about this, you're at the point that you're being un-American about this. We need to push for renewables. We need to push for floating solar. We need to push for everything, wind, etc. And the United States government has to take a major role in this, and we need to start this as soon as possible.